Hello. Today we're going to look at the Meta All-in-One SDK for VR or mixed reality experiences. In the past, I've used the XR Interaction Toolkit. You can build VR apps for like multiple types of headsets. You're not just like constrained to creating for the Quest. So like if you were creating for a Vive, say, like you could use the XR Interaction Toolkit. So that's always been my go-to. But for this class, we are going to use Meta's All-in-One SDK, and there's many reasons why I'm switching over to this. Its building blocks make it so easy to just create the head tracking, the hand tracking, the controller tracking, just like it's a drag and drop, everything's done there for you. It's amazing. So let's get started. I'm coming back into the class's syllabus, and I will also link in the description below. There's several things we need if we want to develop for MetaQuest. One thing is the MetaQuest link. So this is the desktop app for PC VR testing. You need this to connect your headset with Unity and like test your project. That said, we are going to look at the XR simulator in case you want to go home, you don't have a headset at home, and you only have access to a headset sometimes. You can use the simulator. MetaQuest mobile app, we have classes, or we have headsets in our class, so you don't need this if that's the case. But if you have one at home, you need this on your phone. The MetaQuest Developer Hub is optional, but it's nice to have, and I have it for installing builds and managing your headset. So look into that. You're gonna need the Meta Developer account. If you have your own headset, then like you'll get this MetaQuest app, and inside of the app, you need to put it in developer mode, and you can't do developer mode if you don't have the Meta Developer account. So just keep that in mind. And lastly, Meta All-in-One SDK. Before we download it, I just want to make you aware that there's a ton of documentation. This is how I've been learning everything. So if you don't want to listen to me and you just want to like read through all of this documentation, feel free to do that. So you can learn from me, and then you can go here and learn more. So we're going to download from Unity, open in Unity, open Unity Editor, and this is the project we started. You're going to come over here and install. So that will take a second. This popped up, restart Unity, so just go ahead and restart the editor. Cool, so we've got a few windows popped up here. The package manager, Interaction SDK, OpenXR upgrade. Okay, so we've got this option of use OpenXR hand or keep using OVR hand. And we're just gonna use OpenXR hand because it's recommended, and apparently that's what they're going to be using in the future. So let's stay up to date. Okay, in our package manager over here, we can see we have the Meta XR All-in-One SDK. If you go to samples, you can import instructions for finding and using Meta XR samples. That sounds good to me. I'm just gonna import it. And while we're over here, the Meta XR simulator is here. So go ahead and install it if it's not already installed. Okay, so we're clicking out of Package Manager. And the last window that we've got here is documentation. So this could be handy to look through. Let's go to File, Build Settings. And right now, we're building for Windows, which is fine. But let's switch it to Android and switch platform. Cool, so that took us a second, but here we are. If you go into player settings here, it takes you straight to like project settings, and over here in the left menu, you see Meta XR, click on that. Here, there's like some outstanding issues. This tool maintains a checklist of required setup tasks as well as best practices to ensure your project is ready to go. And so the only thing we need to do here is under Android do fix all, apply all. And then on Windows, I do fix all and apply all as well. I'm getting this error saying either the Oculus XR or OpenXR plugin package must be installed through the Unity package manager. So maybe we need to get another package, but first let's go to XR plugin management and install that. So once you have XR plugin management installed, you can come over here under the Android, and I already did this. I checked OpenXR, and this wasn't showing at first, right? It restarted Unity, and then now I can see Meta XR feature group here. And don't forget to go to Windows as well and check OpenXR. And we have a little error. Your project has some settings that are incompatible with OpenXR. Click to open the project validator. So I'm just going to do that. If we can press fix all. Okay, so it says it's not recommended to install Oculus XR plugin and OpenXR plugin at the same time. So let's edit that. We'll go to Oculus XR plugin and remove that. It says current project status XR ready for Android. So that's what we want to see. And I'm going to save it at this point. And then you could go to GitHub Desktop and push the change. Setup. Next, go to Meta, Tools, and Building Blocks. So now to the fun part. Meta has these building blocks, so they help you get up and running faster thanks to a library of XR capabilities that you can simply drag and drop into your project. So there's some collections. You can click on like immersive experience, which is full immersion, no real world visibility. And then the mixed reality would be augmented reality. So you can see through, pass through the room that you're in, and the computer graphics are blended into that environment. So you can go to all building blocks. All you have to do is take this camera rig, come over here in the hierarchy and drop it in. Holy goodness. So now your VR headset should work. Let's just drop down and look at what's inside of this real quick. So we've got this camera rig, and if you ever want to move the player's like spawn position, you want to move the camera rig itself with this position here. So next we've got tracking space. So there's like a bunch of stuff here. Left eye anchor, center eye, right eye, tracker, left hand anchor, right hand anchor. So these two, left hand anchor and right hand anchor, are important for things concerning like hand interactions. So, you know, if you want to attach something to a hand, you're going to attach it to this like left hand or right hand anchor. Next, we have pass-through. So we're going to start with augmented reality, and then we're going to scene transition into virtual reality for this first project. So let's drag and drop pass-through. If you want to know more about the building blocks, you can click on them and read a little bit here. They've got controller tracking, interactions rig. First, let's look at the interactions rig. Click on that. It's saying that there's building block dependencies. So basically it requires the camera rig, as everything probably does. We already have the camera rig here, but if we didn't and we dropped in this interactions rig, it I think would auto populate the camera rig, which is amazing. The interactions rig is a rig with all necessary interactions to grab, poke, point at, move around, locomote, and others, supporting hands and controllers. So the reason why I came here first is if it supports hands and controllers, I'm thinking I really don't need the controller tracking. So let's just take a look at these building blocks. So it gives users more precise control, position and movement of controllers. Okay, so we might need this in the future, but for right now, I'm gonna focus on hand tracking. So we're gonna take this interaction rig, we're gonna drop it in. If you see here, it added a building block inside of the camera rig, and it highlighted it. So if we click out, it's a prefab. It's called OVR Interaction Comprehensive. It's got many things. And this is sort of my first time experimenting with the Meta SDK. So it's only been a thing for a year or so. Very new, so I don't know what all is in here, but we can take a look at it and learn from it. You should be able to, you know, have your head move around in XR space. We have got hand interactions, so we should be able to like use our hands to also grab things and move around, and we'll talk more about locomotion with your hands later. And then we've got pass through, so we should put on the headset and be able to see our room. There's a couple more blocks I want us to attach for right now, and that's the real hands. So real hands lets users engage with objects using their actual hands instead of showing virtual hands. We need pass through and we need interactions. We already have both of those. It's telling you what it's gonna do. So let's go ahead and add this block. Okay, now we've got real hands. Okay, and then last thing is gonna be the distance grab. So this gives the ability to use hands or controllers to grab and move virtual objects from a distance, because you don't always want to like get up and walk over there. You can just sort of like point your hand at it and grab. Do that and pinch. Here there's some variant parameters, and you can do grab relative to hand, pull interactable to hand, and manipulate in place. We're gonna do pull interactable to hand and confirm. So it added a cube here, and we can now like grab that cube from a distance. So practice with the cube that they gave us, and then we'll make our own cube later. So that was adding all of the blocks that we need for this video. Let's go into the camera rig, and over here in the inspector, scroll down, make sure 3S and 3 are both checked here. Under hand tracking support, I'm gonna change it to hands because that's the only thing I wanna use. You could do controllers in hands if you want. This thing popped up, so I'll just do fix. For hand tracking frequency, I'm gonna put high so it's more accurate. And make sure you see that pass-through support is supported. Check this out, body tracking supported, face tracking supported, eye tracking supported. So the fact that we can track a face means that we could make a lot of cool experiences for people. So maybe we'll play with that later. Make sure enable pass-through here is checked. If you don't know what things are, for me, I always just like to click on it, look over here in the inspector. So like for pass-through, we've got OVR pass-through layer script, and you can open up the script and check it out. The cube is cool to look at because it'll give us an idea of what we have to do when we want to make our objects grabbable. If you look at the cube and you look at its inspector, you can see it's got a mesh renderer, it's got a box collider. The box collider is set to is trigger. It's got a rigid body, is kinematic, it's not using gravity, so it's just gonna like float. It's got a grabbable script. So yeah, all of these things, we're gonna come back to this later. And then for like the distance hand grab, it's got a distance hand grab interactable script. And so like, you can just like look at all of the scripts that these building blocks are using, and then just do what Meta's already doing. Whenever you're building your own stuff. Let's assume that you're using a headset that is at the school, or you don't have one on you right now, but like you want to test this setup. I actually don't even know if we're going to be able to test it because we're doing pass through, but up here you can see there's a little computer icon next to the play button. Set play mode to use Meta XR simulator. It simulates MetaQuest headset and features on the desktop. So I'm gonna click that, and it's highlighted, so it should be on. Yeah, down here in the console, we can see Meta XR simulator is activated. Cool. So let's just see what happens if we press play. So this window pops up. You can record and replay an action clip from the record and play window. Okay, that's cool. It supports multiple input modes, so you can use an Xbox controller and the Quest controller, but we have our keyboard and mouse, so maybe we'll use that. Okay, so since we have pass-through selected, it is giving us a fake environment. I press the left mouse button and it pinches. I press and hold the right mouse button and I can turn, and then it uses like WASD to move around, so you can, just like a video game. Okay, so this is the block, that like distance grab block that we incorporated. So we can just like test this out. So in order to like grab it, you have to pinch. So if pinch is the left mouse button, I'm gonna do that. Okay, yay, it works. And then I can like move it around and I can release it, I think. Yeah, I can, let's try that again. So I point my hand at it, I grab it, I can, you know, walk over here. Can I move? I can release it. I'm clicking on the scroll wheel right now and I'm zooming the scroll wheel. Okay, so you can play around with that and figure it out, but essentially everything works and we don't even have a headset to test it. But ideally we want to test it with our headset because we want to see what it's like. So let's do that. So I'm going to exit the session. I'm going to unhighlight the simulator. I'm going to save. And now it's time to set up our headset. All right, so I have my headset here. It's the Oculus 3 and I love it. I have a very long USB-C cable that I actually got from the first Oculus that ever came out. And they were much kinder back then because they give you a long one. Now they give you a really short one. But you need this to link to your PC. You also need the Oculus Link app. So let's open that bad boy up. So this is the MetaQuest Link app. And then under devices, you might have to set up your device, settings, go to beta. Make sure that you have developer runtime features checked. Make sure you have Meta over MetaQuest Link checked. Make sure you have spatial data over MetaQuest Link checked. Here I check unknown sources. That's for later. Connect the headset. Whenever you are linking your headset, there's going to be an endless amount of problems that could arise. There's a bunch of troubleshooting tips. Most of the time, I'll just turn off my headset and turn it back on, or I'll unplug the USB-C and plug it back in, or like restart every software that I'm using, and that has always helped me for years. But I just ran into a problem where it didn't help me and I was like banging my head against the wall trying to figure it out. So don't feel bad if you run into issues when you're trying to like use the link, because there's a lot of fixes for that. Linking the video that I followed in the description, that gave me the answer to my problem. So thank you for making that, whoever you are. And I'll show you how the problem was fixed. You go to your search bar here and you can type in Oculus setup.exe and this should pop up and you can click that and you press yes, and I'm not going to do this because I just did it, but what'll pop up is a bunch of buttons, and you can click on the repair button and then click the repair button again, and I believe it just takes a little while to like reinstall, and I came back to my settings here in the Oculus Link after it installed and everything looks good. And then I tested on the headset and the link was working. And so really all you need to do is press play, and in the headset it'll just pop up. Okay, so it is working. The play mode version is only showing us the XR hands here. But I can see past through my room. So you can't see like exactly what I'm seeing, but you can see the parts that are digital overlays. So like if I look down, you can't see my feet like I can see, but you can see the computer generated cube right there, I'm hoping. So let's test the grab functionality. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I just point at it and there's a dot that pops up, and then I just pinch my fingers and then I can grab that and I can put it on my table if I want. So that's what I did. I just placed it on my table and then I can do a distance grab and it comes back to my hand. So everything is working perfectly. Very exciting. Right now, at the end of this video, you should be able to be on your headset, and in the app that you're developing, you have pass-through working. You can like move your head around and stuff. You've got XR hands that you can wiggle, and you've got this cube set up that has distance grab, so you can like pinch to like grab the cube around. So that's where we're at right now. Okay, if you're running through any errors, check out the YouTube video that I'm putting in the description. Check that your developer features in the headset are all checked. Make sure that in the Oculus app, if you go to settings and beta, developer runtime features are all checked. Make sure on your mobile phone you have developer features checked, and you can just do a quick Google search on how to do that. It's pretty easy. In Unity, if you go to Edit, Project Settings, you want to verify that in XR plugin management, you have Open XR checked for both Android and Windows. And then in Meta XR here, you want to make sure that all of these issues are fixed and you applied them. And then just do that for like Windows too, just because we're going to build probably for both. A quick way to look at that as well is if you just come up here to Meta XR Tools and then you go to Project Setup Tools, it'll just take you directly there. So that's nice. This is also a quick way to get to your building blocks if you want to add more. In the next video, now that we've got VR all set up and ready to go, we're going to look at quick actions and grabbing objects that we import.